it is really, really important that you understand your health, especially if you have a heart condition or anything that you think is affecting your heart. It's really important. I can't stress to you just how important it is. Okay. So I was speaking to somebody today who is dealing with palpitations, and he went to a cardiologist to be seen over time. So maybe about 6 months ago, he started seeing a cardiologist because he's having issues with fast heart rate or irregular heart rate, and so but he's not on any heart medications of any kind. Okay, he calls today because he's having chest pain. So when I talked to this young man, because I'm a triage nurse, so I talked to him and I said, "Hey, what's going on?" And he says, "Yeah, I'm having chest pain. I've been having chest pain for a couple of weeks." I said, "Okay, let's talk about it." Yeah, I go through the questions: what type of chest pain, how long, the intensity, where is it located, all these questions. And then I ask, and then he states, he says, "Yeah, I went to my primary care physician today." I said, "Oh, you talked to your primary care about the chest pain? What did he say?" He said, "Oh, no, I didn't tell him about the chest pain." I said, "You went to the doctor today. You've been having chest pain for 2 weeks, and you didn't mention that you were having chest pain?" He said, "No." With his full chest, he said, "No." I said, "Why not?" And he said, "Oh, well, I was waiting to talk to the cardiologist to tell him about the chest pain." So I said to him, for future reference, just so that you'll know for your health and your well-being, that if you have chest pain and you just happen to be at the doctor, you can tell him about your symptoms, because what they can do is they can do an X-ray, they can do a EKG, they can maybe even draw some blood. I said, but you don't have to wait to talk to the cardiologist to talk about chest pain. And he said, "Okay." And then he happened to mention, because one thing when people talk about fast heart rate or palpitations, we ask them, "Are you on any caffeine of any kind, coffee, teas, energy drinks?" So one statement he made was, "I noticed that the palpitations and the chest pains have increased since I've been drinking my coffee and my energy drinks." So he's drinking coffee. I said, "How many cups of coffee?" This is caffeinated coffee. "How many cups of coffee do you drink in a day?" "Oh, just 2 cups a day." I said, "And you notice increased chest pain and palpitations after drinking the coffee?" I said, you do understand that does, caffeinated coffee can increase the likelihood of you having faster heart rate because caffeine speeds you up. I said, "How about we try this? This is going to be a different concept, but let's try this. How about for the next couple of days, you don't drink any caffeinated drinks. Avoid chocolates because some chocolates also have caffeine. And see if you still have chest pain and palpitations. How about I call you in a couple of days and you tell me how it goes? Tell me how you're feeling. Now, if you stop the caffeine and you continue to have the same symptoms, chest pain, palpitations of that nature, I said you need to go to the emergency room. But if you stop it and the symptoms automatically stop too, then you probably don't need a lot of caffeine. What do you think about that plan?" He was like, "Okay." And then I gave that information to the cardiologist, but I said, "You're not even on any cardiac meds. So you're not on cardiac medication. So they didn't think his condition was urgent enough to put him on any cardiac meds, or maybe he didn't need it. Um, he, the testing that he's done in the past hasn't shown anything, but he has increased heart rate with caffeine. Listen, people, sometimes, and I don't mean to belittle you in any way, but I'm going to say sometimes it's a no-brainer. Okay? Common sense is only common to those of us who have it. Common sense tells me that if something is causing a problem, I need to remove myself from what's causing the problem so I don't have it anymore. Sometimes it's just that simple. Okay? Now, I don't want to again belittle anybody or make people seem dumb. I don't want, because when you don't know, you can't fix what you don't know. And I don't want to take away from him, but I don't think this is the first time somebody's told him about the caffeine, because I think the cardiologist has talked to him about it before. And one thing the cardiologist says when you walk into the office and you say that you have palpitations, as upon first meeting you, they're going to ask you, do you drink anything caffeinated? Or anything like that? What type of drinks? What's your diet? What does your diet look like? What type of foods you're eating? Sometimes herbal supplements can cause heart rates to speed up. There are, or medication interactions. But this young man wasn't on any medication that would interact. He wasn't even on much. Um, Smoking, drugs will also cause your heart to race. Um, but sometimes the simplest answer is the best answer. So if you find that you're having an issue, especially young people these days, if you guys are having an issue with fast heart rate, my question, and you call the doctor's office, I want to know, what are you eating? What are you drinking? What type of Mountain Dew is nothing but pure caffeine, okay? There are sodas that are nothing but pure caffeine. So don't get it twisted. If you're drinking that, you will have fast heart rate. If you're drinking these energy drinks, you're going to have a faster heart rate. And what I'm saying is that fast heart rate can also lead to you having chest pain because your heart is beating faster than it can handle. Okay? So let's be careful about the things that we put in our body. If we're noticing things when we drink and eat things, how about let's stop drinking and eating those things and see if the problem ceases. Okay? All right, y'all have a good day.